And we are live. Good evening, everyone. I'm trying to multitask between two different laptops, so give me one moment. Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Nikki Anthony. I am the executive director and the founder of Little Hands, Big Hearts, Little People Service Organization. And tonight we are sharing about an exciting first inaugural opportunity for students to become servant leaders, to develop in the ways of servant leadership. I'm so excited to present this opportunity. We've been kind of sharing it on low key for the past maybe 6 months or so, trying to build momentum. So I wanted to do this informational session to let people know what to expect, how things are going to roll out, and then how you and your family, your little people, your not so little people can become involved in this servant leadership cohort. So the name of it is the Future Forward Servant Leadership Development Cohort, and it is spanning for the whole school year of 2024-2025. So as you can see, some of the things that we espouse in the organization, and that will be really honed in on in this coming year of service, is serving and leading and growing. So those are the things that we espouse for those that are connected to this organization. As we get started tonight, these are a few objectives that we have tonight. These are some of the things that we're going to be covering. We'll do brief introductions of myself and my co-hosts for tonight. These are my day ones. I'm very proud of both of them. And they'll be sharing tonight some things about being a part of Little Hands, Big Hearts. We'll go through our mission statement so you'll have an idea of what it is that we're trying to do in this organization. And then we'll go through a small, brief history of this organization. How did we get to a point in 2017 of beginning this servant leadership organization for little people and then not so little people? Next, we'll look at an overview of this cohort, things that you should be able to expect, some of the benefits of it, all of the components of it. And then we'll do a from their perspective, which I'm going to have Cameron and Lauren to share with you all some of their experiences of being servant leaders over the last 6 years in this organization. And then we'll have a Q&A if there are any questions that need to be answered or clarified. We want to be able to do that for you tonight. We will not hold you very long. I'm going to ask that you would please like and share this broadcast so that we can reach far and wide, especially for families and students and children in Jacksonville, because that's where we are based here in Jacksonville, Florida. So I'm going to ask Lauren if she will read our mission statement just to give you an idea of what it is that we are looking to do. And I think we hit the mark every single time we host anything or we go out and serve. This is what we are doing. So Lauren, if you will go ahead and read that. Come off of mute and read that for me.
The mission of Little Hands, Big Hearts Little People Service Organization is to develop little people to servant leaders who think beyond themselves for greater good throughout explicit and international.
And intentional.
Opportunities for character development, selfless service to others, and community-based volunteering.
Good job. Thank you very much. So I want to tell you just briefly about how all of this came to be. Officially, we were founded in 2017, but this organization is a culmination of several experiences that I had over my lifetime, my early life, and opportunities that were afforded to me. So it's just kind of a hodgepodge of experiences that I feel were very key in developing me into the servant leader that I grew to be in my adult age and as a child. So the first one was my mom, my aunt, and my grandfather. My grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's when I was, I think, in second grade, and he came to live here in Florida from Georgia with us. And during that time, I remember just kind of being led to support my mom and my aunts as they cared for him. So I would do little things like, just kind of keep him company, keep him from wandering off, make sure that he took his medicine, make sure that he had his crackers and peanut butter, just kind of spent time with him. And that turned into so much over time. It grew into we had to place him in a nursing home. And from there, when we went to the nursing home, myself and my cousins and my brother, we kind of became surrogate grandchildren for a lot of the people in the nursing home because we would go to care for my grandfather, but there were so many people who didn't have loved ones coming for them. So we kind of, I know I did, but I think all of us did. We took on these other quote unquote grandparents. And so that's the earliest experience I have with servant leadership. I transitioned when I got my master's into special education. And I just saw this thing with children being selfish, and it was not okay. And it wasn't just children in special education. That's not what I'm saying. It was just children, period. And that is not okay with me. So there was a challenge that I had. I wanted to grow more empathetic children. I wanted my kids to know how to love each other, how to support each other, disabled or not. I wanted them to be able to be the best human beings that they could. And so I started to do things within my classroom. I did things in my caseload as a special education teacher to make sure that my kids were growing socially, emotionally, also in addition to academically and educationally. So we would, they learn how to take care of each other. I remember my first year in the classroom, I had a self-contained special education classroom. And we built such a classroom community that the kids from outside of our classroom, if anything happened to a student in our classroom, it was almost like a gang, but not a gang. Like they wouldn't fight, but they would come very close to because you don't mess with our family. And so we learn to love each other and take care of each other and look out for each other. And then there was also during that time and moving forward, there was just this preparation of I had early preparation and early exposure and access to information that I wanted to share with families. So I was a case manager prior to special education, and I gained this wealth of resources that I wanted families to know about so that they could make the best decisions for their children moving forward. I was also in a number of organizations throughout elementary and middle school, Youth Leadership Jacksonville, Black Achievers, Youth with a Mission. And so all of these things have played a role in developing this that you see and that we're presenting on tonight. So I'm going to ask Cameron to read the cohort purpose really quickly, and we will jump into the rest of our presentation.
All right. Emphasizing the intentional healthy development of the whole child, this cohort seeks to provide opportunities for children to develop into future servant leaders by addressing and mitigating issues that impact children educationally, academically, mentally, socially, emotionally, financially, behaviorally, and physically.
Thank you. All right, so what can you expect with your child and yourself as a caregiver, as a parent, being a part of this Future Forward cohort? The first thing is career exploration. We started this series back in 2020 during the pandemic. Everyone switched to online everything, and this was a way to continue our mission of growing servant leaders by presenting information about their future. So this is a deep dive that we do into various career paths from industry experts and professionals who have experience and knowledge to share what is necessary to be successful in whatever their respective fields are. So we have covered in the past, and we will be starting this series back up in September, starting with education again. But we've covered education, we've covered law, we've covered medicine, we've covered sports sciences, we've covered transportation, information, mental health. So if your child has shown any proclivity towards any of those career paths, and even some that we didn't name and have not covered, then be sure to tune in. It will be a monthly segment devoted to a special career path or area of careers that they can look forward to. And we invite you to tune in and be a part of that, ask questions of our experts, learn what it takes for your child to really go the distance and become prepared to go into that field. And it also helps to weed out what they don't want to do. So keep that in mind as well. You can expect a post-secondary option exploration. So a little bit later, I told you I'll have Cameron and Lauren to share their experience when we toured 4 HBCUs during spring break on our HBCU tour. But what this is basically real-time on-site exploration of post-secondary options that are available to students upon graduation from high school. So post-secondary will not just include HBCUs. That has been a preference of our students. So we are going to go with preference because this is definitely a student-led organization. But this also includes technical schools, community colleges, state colleges, universities, what else? Career and technical centers, also military. So all of those are post-secondary options that we do want to explore with our students. We have 2 schools already lined up for October and November, and you'll see at the end those dates. And then moving on, we also have important informational sessions, and these are virtual sessions that cover anything that impacts a child or a family. And these are professionals that we have to share with us. And so in the past, we've covered child mental health and trauma awareness. We've covered child sexual abuse. We've covered child abuse, period. We've covered resilience, building resilience in children. We've covered a myriad of topics. So we're going to continue that. We'll also be looking at things to help informational sessions to help prepare to transition into post-secondary. So talking with school counselors, what should I be doing in 8th grade, in 9th grade, in 12th grade, and making sure that information is given to you because, again, we want to be a resource to families so that you can prep now for later, so that you can help your student to work towards the best future. So if they're off track a little bit now, maybe their grades aren't the best, maybe behavior isn't the best, it does not mean that they can't have the best future. We just have to be a little more intentional. So what we do is provide that intentionality. You can also expect tier one, mental health support, and this will be done through TBRI. TBRI stands for Trust-Based Relational Intervention, and we're going to focus on building connection, empowering, and correcting. All right, and correcting is in lowercase because that is the least. That's where you spend the least amount of time because you've built so much connection. And as we go through TBRI, you'll learn strategies and interventions of how to implement in your family. These are all things that can be implemented in the family. Anyone, you do not have to be a mental health expert for you and your family members, your children, to learn these strategies, to learn this pedagogy and move forward. And this works to build family connection and healing and all of those things inside of the family. We will have service opportunities. These are monthly student-led serve days. We have bi-monthly service projects, and we have volunteer work that we do. On our serve days, we are usually at the Clara White Mission. We have a calendar already existent, and so we have about 3 service opportunities that will not be at Clara White Mission, but most of our service has been there since 2017 because they were the only organization in Jacksonville that was willing to open the doors so that our little people, we had 3-year-olds, so we start at age 3 on up, and they were willing to allow our 3-year-olds to come in and to serve the guests that the Clara White Mission serves. So we have continued there serving. We've built great relationships over the years, and we will not stop that. So most of our service will be at the Clara White Mission, and most of our service projects service the Clara White Mission. We'll also be infusing what you can expect is academic support and tutoring. We have an A1 grade A tutor. She is a teacher. She is a district coach. She is a trainer for some different online learning systems. She's excellent. So she will be offering tutoring for those students who demonstrate a need, and you have to be connected in all portions of this cohort to access that. But up to 6 free sessions will be offered to students, and if we have more funding and more tutoring is needed, then we will go that route if it's available. But you'll be offered up to 6 free sessions per student. Excuse me. For those students who are demonstrating successful participation in our cohort and meeting the expectations. All right. We have our cohort expectations and requirements. So this is what we are asking of you as a parent and as a student. The first one is that you are committed to growth and development. If you are not committed, if you can't give one Saturday a month, that's too much for you, this is probably not the cohort for you. We would love for everyone to be a part. That doesn't mean you can't serve with us, but the benefits of being in the program will not be afforded to people who are not committed. So that's our greatest expectation, is the commitment level. Participate in our monthly activities. Most of these overlap. So our serve days also double as our service projects, because we will have a project that we are giving out on our serve days. So we do a lot of giveaways for the transient and for the unhomed downtown. And with that, most of our items are collected during the month and we give them out on serve days. So it's about a 3-hour commitment for a person, for a student, for a mom, a dad, a caregiver. So we are asking that you participate on a monthly basis in those service opportunities. And this will go towards earning your leadership badge. The next one is participate in our monthly goal setting and accountability checks for your academics. So that's how we're going to be able to determine if you are in need of tutoring. By profession, I have been an educator. A little bit about myself: I was in special education for 14 years. So I will never not be a teacher. I will never not be an educator. And so my heart is to make sure that as we're developing these servant leaders and they are empathetic and they are kind and caring and giving, that they're also getting the benefits of their education, that they're tapping in, that they're the best students they can be. And if there's anything that we can do as far as tutoring, as far as access to other resources, then we will do that to make sure that they get to where they need to be academically as well. Number 4, participate in post-secondary options, the exploration opportunities that we have slated for this year. But there's a caveat. So in the past, we have allowed students to go and they just were able to go. This year, tightening up the requirements, you must first serve, because I want to see how you act on site. I want to see how you act in real time. Before I take you out of the city and out of the state. We have gone to Georgia, we've gone to Alabama, we've gone to South Carolina. The goal for this coming year is to get up to North Carolina, to the HBCUs in North Carolina and some other places. I want to be able to trust the students that I take away and trust the parents that I take away. So service here at a serve day with us will be a requirement before you get to go on those trips, on those exploration opportunities. The next one is participate in our career exploration series, which is virtual. So really the only in-person that you will have to look forward to on a consistent basis is serve day. Most of what we offer will be virtual as far as the informationals. So participate in that. There will be a survey that students take, and this will be how I know that you have participated, and also how we collect data to report for grant funding. We are a KHA funded organization, and KHA is the leading organization that funds children's programs here in the city of Jacksonville. So we have to give account of what we're doing with funding, but also we give account because we want to get more funding in the future. All right. You have to fall into the following age ranges. Again, we started age 3. We don't want them to come later if they can come earlier and become servant leaders earlier. So we started at age 3. The first category is little leaders, ages 3 through 9. junior leaders are 10 through 13, and then we have our teen leaders, as Cameron is, who are 14 through 18. And then commit to at least 1 year of active participation. And we've kind of gone over what active participation looks like. There is a pending book study, book club, and this will be virtual as well. Details will come out about that. And then there is no minimum grade or GPA that you need to be accepted. All I ask is that you commit yourself to upward growth academically and behaviorally. So with that, again, this is going back to my teacher's heart. Every student should make at least a year's growth in an academic year. So that is my expectation. If you start off an F in reading, I need to get you up to maybe like a C or so. We need to do that. So we're working in conjunction with home and with school and with the student to make sure that they are moving forward academically and behaviorally. And I am very involved. Cameron and Lauren can tell you I do not play about education at all. But I know that I also get results. And I don't say that haughtily. I say that because I do get results. And I can move students where they need to be. All right. So this is how to apply. This will take you directly to our registration form application. So feel free to take a picture of this. Feel free to, you can try the Google form link if you can type all those letters and numbers in. And we will only accept 30 students into this cohort. And we're about halfway full, I believe, now. So we will accept only 30 students into this cohort, and it will be on a first come, first served basis. We'll keep a waiting list, but this is also based on your participation if you get to stay in. So you've heard the requirements, kind of think it through, mull it over, and decide if you have what it takes to be committed to a program of this caliber. So what are you going to get out of this? What is your little person or not so little person going to get out of this? The first thing is pre and early exposure to post-secondary institutions. So what I have found is that a lot of children don't really start thinking about college until they get to like maybe 11th or 12th grade. And by then, I'm not going to say it's too late, but it definitely could have started sooner. So we have taken children as young as 5 to visit universities. So it's never too early to start thinking about what you want to become later and what you want to do later. So they will get that pre and that early exposure to what their options are. All or most expenses paid trips to Wild Adventures. Excuse that typo. So we actually just came back from Wild Adventures on Sunday. It was a celebration of those students who were committed last year in serving, and also students who were a part of our teen pregnancy prevention program this summer, who successfully completed it. And it was all expenses. I thought that we had one meal on our tickets, and I accidentally paid for it. We had food all day. I mean, all day. It was like 7 different meal options that we were given. So we had a wonderful time. We went to the park. We went to the water park as well. So those kind of things we definitely want to extend to families, extend to our students and parents who are committed. You will also get the necessary volunteer hours for scholarship consideration. So as you're moving into high school, and you want to start applying for college, you want to start applying for any kind of post-secondary options, you will need volunteer hours. So you start amassing these volunteer hours early on. There will be a members only tea, very exclusive. You don't get the jacket until you've been in a few years. I'm just joking, we don't have a jacket, not yet. There will also be a trip to the Jags. We have a game slated in October. We went last year for the first time with the Honor Rolls program. Shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so we were invited back this year. We qualified to go back this year. So we'll be going in October to another Jags game. And this will be for all of our students who are meeting the requirements. I do not hold back. As much as I can give to the students, to families, I do that. the mental health and the trauma responsive strategies through TBRI. This is something I'm very passionate about, mental health and making sure our children are well. So you will receive those strategies. You will be able to learn more about how to grow your family forward. Participation incentives. I try to provide different random incentives. I do believe in things being innate, so we grow to that point. But there will be incentives that are available to students and to parents who participate. Gas cards, Amazon, all those different things. Meaningful friendships and connections. We have had students that connected and they are almost like family now. I, I got cut out the mix. They're family, they're cousins, they're all these different things, but they weren't, just a few months ago or just last year, right? So we have these meaningful friendships and relationships that come out of serving alongside someone and serving well alongside someone. And then you can look forward to interpersonal growth and development on both the parent, the student side, both sides. All right. So we want to grow people. We believe in growing great people, right? And this is what you can look forward to. So here are a few deadlines and upcoming dates for those people who are considering applying and those who actually make the cut to be a part of this cohort. The first one, the application is due by September 7th. You need to have it in. So you will see the link again. I'll go back to it, or I'll go to it. The second one is Serve Day September. This is on September 21st at 7:30 a.m. at the Clara White Mission. And we get there early. We start usually about 8:15, 8:30 serving, but we want to make sure we're in place and we have everything set up to make it a smooth transition for all the people that come through. Usually we serve about 150 people every single month. So we do a very big work alongside other organizations that service the clients of the Clara White Mission. We will have a cohort induction meet and greet on that same evening. So you'll serve and then come meet people who are part of that cohort. And I just want you to come and we're going to introduce the students that are a part of the cohort, introduce their parents, and then commit to this program over the next year and just begin growing together. We will have our first post-secondary exploration stop at FAMU, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, on October the 14th. It's basically an all-day trip. We leave early in the morning and we come back. My goal is to also get us to Florida State University. The last time we visited both universities on the same day. Then we have our Breast Cancer Awareness Forum. That will be on Saturday, October 19th. And it'll start at 2 p.m. I'll share more information coming up. Please make sure you're following us on social media at Little People Serving, so you can get details on all of that. And then the last thing, it's not the last thing we're doing, it's just this is how much I could fit on this page, is the post-secondary exploration stop number 2. We'll be visiting Bethune-Cookman University, which is in Daytona, on November the 1st, 2024. All right, so I would like for Cameron and Lauren to kind of share their perspectives. Let me get them here. So Cameron and Lauren are going to share their perspective of being servant leaders. Specifically, Cameron, if you don't mind, I would like for you to talk about if you have something that you think is a highlight for you of having served over the last 6 years, you feel free to talk about that. But I want you to definitely talk about the college tour, if you will. And Lauren, if you don't mind, can you share your experiences with the college tour? I have 2 screens, y'all. So if you guys can come off mute and share, maybe take about a minute and a half, and we'll go from there. And I'm going to mute myself. Actually, yeah.
Okay, hi, I'm Cameron. I'm in 10th grade, sophomore. Serving these past 6 years has been very fun. It's very work dependent. You have to be focused, meeting these people, getting to know them. It's very fun. Like serving with my friends is also fun. It's like kind of like a bonding moment, really. but just helping people, it makes me feel good about myself. With the college tours, those are also fun. I learn new things. I get new career opportunities to learn about, like for after high school. All the colleges are very fun to look at. But sometimes I think we went during homecoming spirit week sometimes through sometimes some of those colleges. But yeah, it's very nice to see what they have out there, and yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lauren. I'm in the 5th grade, and I like about the serving. I've learned so much from the serving. And from the college tours, I have so much opportunities, and I learned so much. Like as an elementary school kid, now, like I really now I kind of know what college I want to go to, but I don't know yet.
But you have a few ideas.
It's
Okay, good job. Which one was your favorite when we visited, when we did our HBCU tour? Which one was your favorite?
My favorite was Tuskegee.
Tuskegee? Why Tuskegee?
I like the I really like the layout of the university. It's like very like composed. Like it's a private university,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, it's a private university. So yeah, it's very composed. I met one of the students there. She got I think $1 million scholarship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to work up to that. And one of those colleges, like that college in particular, is my top 3 colleges I want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really like the layout. I like, from what I've heard,
Mm-hmm.
I want to actually maybe pursue that college after high school.
All right, so we have one for Tuskegee. Lauren, which one was your favorite?
my favorite was ASU, Alabama
Oh,
University, and
okay.
I like that school because like a lot of people are cool there.
Okay.
Guys were cool,
Mm-hmm.
and I really liked the layout like Kimmy.
Mm-hmm.
I like the stadium,
Okay.
and there's a lot of fun projects, so I like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
the hands-on projects that we do. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we go on the tours. It's very fun and very enthusiastic.
All right. Thank you.
I love
All right. So you heard a little bit from their perspective. If you have any questions, I'm trying to monitor like 2 different screens. So just put them in the chat and I will come back and we'll get them answered. It might be after the broadcast. But I want to make sure we answer any questions. Also, you can email questions to littlepeopleserving@gmail.com. You can DM on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and we'll get those questions answered as well. I want to go back to how to apply. This is how you apply if you think your student is a good fit, if you think that you would be an awesome part of our team as well as a parent or a caregiver, because parents are required to be involved. This is not a drop your kid off. We're all growing together. Everybody's growing together. So parents serve alongside their children. If you think that you want to be a part of a family oriented organization that is growing the next generation of servant leaders, please, please, please sign your student up, but also know that you're signing yourself up. Um, and that's that. I think that's the last slide. So thank you all for joining us this evening. Again, I cannot. Okay, we have one question that says, sorry, I missed the first 30 minutes. The ages. The ages are, let me see if I can go back to it for you. So if you look down at number 6, you just have to be, you fall into one of those categories. Ages 3 to 9 are little leaders, ages 10 through 13 are junior leaders, and ages 14 through 18 are teen leaders. All right. So if they fall in between 3 and 18, we want them. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. All right. That was one question. Feel free to shoot us any more questions, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, and they should pop up. And we'll give it a few more minutes. Cameron, do you have a story of serving that sticks out to you? If you don't, I have one, but no. Okay. Well, I'll share my story. So this was maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and we have stories. I think everybody on our team has a story of what it means to serve. So I think it was like 2019, and we had done our serve day. This is like November of 2019. We were doing our serve day, and before we got started, there was a gentleman that came out, and he didn't have his shoes were torn up. I mean, they were absolutely ragged, and we had been donated some shoes, some brand new, I think Jordans. So we give like really good stuff. That's another thing. We do not give people junk. If you wouldn't wear it, if you wouldn't want it, don't give it to us to give to anyone else. But yeah, so these were like brand new Jordans, and we were laying all the items out because they can come and grab whatever they want. That's what we're there for. We're there to serve, right? And so he was eyeing these Jordans, and he was looking and he was looking. And I had asked that everybody just kind of hold off because we don't want to start a rush before we actually get started. And he honored that. And he just kind of, eyeballed those Jordans. And he was like, ma'am, if you will, please, 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 can I get those? I said, if they're still here when you come through the line, of course they're yours. Well, we got started and the day commenced, and this gentleman came back through and he was able to get those Jordans. He walked off. Now, I'll say simultaneously at this point in my life, I was just having a really, really rough season in my life. And it's like, why am I doing this? Is it really working? Are we making a difference? I could do a billion other things. I don't have to do this. I love doing it, but I don't have to do it, And so we kept on going. And after everything ended, he came back and he was wearing his new Jordans, and he had the biggest smile on his face. And so, like I said, I was just in a, kind of a funky place. Adults, we understand that. Children, we understand that as well, right? And he came back and he's smiling so big with tears in his eyes. And he said, can I tell you thank you? He said, and I hope I don't cry. He said, I was just praying before I came here this morning. And I said, God, if you really love me, you will get me some new shoes because I don't have any shoes. My shoes are torn up. And he said, and just like that, y'all showed up. He said, I'm walking away. And I know that God loves me because he sent y'all here. And that will never not touch my heart because that's the core and the heart of what we do. We are there to serve. We are there to love people. We are there to treat people with kindness and dignity and respect. If you look at any of our pictures, you should not see anyone's face. If you do, I promise it's an error because we do not want to take anyone's or strip anyone of their dignity. That's not what we do. The emphasis is learning how to serve people. Our students, they know how to talk to people who, basically can't do anything for them. They're learning how to communicate. They are learning how to be respectful to people who society may say that doesn't deserve respect, right? So that's why we do it for moments like that. We've had plenty of times where we've had some of the guests and the clients that are served by Clara White to say, it's so awesome what you guys are doing with these children because even adults don't do this. We get so disrespected by adults. But when these babies come in here, it just touches my heart. It touches my life. I light up because you're seeing the good in the world. That's why we do it. All right. So if you want to be a part of something like that, something special, we invite you I'll go back to the link to apply. And again, this is a commitment for both parents and students. And that's it for our presentation. If there are no more questions, I want to say thank you. If you tuned in, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Make sure you shoot us an email, littlepeopleserving@gmail.com if you have any questions. If you need the link directly, I can do that as well. And that is basically it. me end our stream. You guys have a wonderful night. Lauren, Cameron, do you want to tell everybody good night?
Good night, guys.
All right. Yeah.